All right, I just wish I could get these problems to be a little bit bigger. All right, this is lesson 6.1 homework. It is 12 questions, which is more than I usually assign, but it's because the questions are so simple, at least most of them are. So 5x to the 4th power, it says find the degree of the term. How do we find the degree of the term? What does it mean by the degree? Yeah.
Wait, it's the exponent.
Yeah, it's the exponent, yeah. This one's super simple because there is only one exponent here, so it's very easy to spot the degree. What is it? 4. The degree is 4. That's why I assigned many questions on this, because they are that quick, most of them. The degree is 4. Does anybody have a different one and they want to make sure that they have the correct degree? Find the degree of this term. Now this one's a little bit different because it has 2 variables in the term. We have 8xy to the 3rd. Do we just take the exponent that we see, or do we need to do something a little bit special to find the degree? Is that right? Yes. Special. What is that special thing we need to do? Yep, we see that this x has an exponent of 1, so all we have to do to get the degree of the entire term is add up our exponents. 1 plus 3 is 4, so the degree of this term is also 4. And depending on what your term says, you simply add up the exponents of the term. Now, this is a monomial, one term. So it's super easy to spot what you're adding up. When we have multiple terms, which term do you use to find the degree? For example, if this said 8xy to the 3rd, but it also had a negative 4x to the 6th plus 8xy to the 3rd, let's just say, how do I know how to find my degree of a binomial? How do I know which term to use for the degree? Does anybody know? How do I know you're only supposed to use one term to find the degree? And by term, I mean this whole thing and this whole thing. There are 2 terms here. How do I know which one of them to use to identify the degree? The bigger one, yeah. The one that has the higher sum of exponents.
Oh, yeah,
this one is 6, this one is 4, so this entire polynomial would be it would be the degree of 6. So all we need to do is take the highest sum of exponents, the term with the highest sum. So the question is, the question that we got, the degree is 4, but if it were to have more terms in the polynomial, you would just find the highest sum. Very good, Angela. Last jump.
You already went through all those?
I know. I think people are stealing. So this is also 4. Thank you very much.
Wait, what? I just had a song.
Oh my goodness, a constant. We call it a constant because there's no variable. Or maybe the variable's invisible. How can a variable be invisible? Ricky?
0.
The degree is 0. Now, this is going to seem really weird because a constant, like 31, the exponent to this constant is not 0.
It's going to be 1.
It's 1. So how is the degree 0? Did you guys have this in your videos yesterday?
Because there's no value to it.
No.
It's just 0.
It's because there are invisible exponents. I mean, not invisible exponents, invisible variables. Do you agree that I could write the number 31 also as, I could write it as 31 x to the 0 power, right? Am I allowed to do that? It doesn't change the value because x to the 0 power equals 1. And 31 times 1 is 31. 31. Yeah, x to the 0 power is 1, and 31 times 1 is 31. So 31 is equal to 31, and it's also equal to 31 x to the 0 power. That's why the degree of this is 0, because there's an invisible variable with a degree of 0. Do you guys understand? But you can just memorize that all constants have a degree of 0. That's fine. So, see how we're breezing through these? Easy, breezy, beautiful. Hold on. Find the degree of this monomial. What's it? That's how my son used to say, what is it? What is it?
7.
7. This is one term here. It's a lot. It's a big term, but it's only one term. A to the 5th, b to the 2nd, add up your exponents. 5 plus 2 is 7. So that's the degree. Please raise your hand if you need help with your specific question. If it's different from mine and you're getting a little bit confused. I know it's kind of hard to look at one problem and then do another problem at the same time. If you need me to pause for a second so you can catch up, let me know. Working at home. Okay, find the degree of the polynomial and indicate whether the polynomial is a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or none of these. So first it wants the degree. How do we find the degree? There are how many terms here? 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. How do I know which term to use to find the degree? Yes. The biggest sum of the exponents. So let's see. That would be 3. That would be 3. That would be 1. And that's 5. So what's the degree? 5.
How did you get 5? Because it's the biggest one.
It's the biggest sum of the exponents. I didn't have to add anything to it because it.
Mine would be 6.
Yes.
There's no 5. The biggest.
Did I press record?
Yeah.
I always forget whether I did or I didn't. It's my biggest fear. Is it a monomial, a binomial, a trinomial? Oops, I'm gonna put them back in the. Well, when I circled the terms, I circled 4 terms. So it's none of these. Monomial is 1 term. Binomial is 2 terms. Trinomial is 3 terms. Anything greater than 3 terms is simply called a polynomial. It doesn't have a special name. Now, all of these are polynomials, but these, the ones with 1 term, 2 terms, and 3 terms, have very specific polynomial names. Everybody else is just called a polynomial, so it would be none of these because it's not any of these, because it's not 1, 2, or 3 terms, it's 4 terms, so it would be a simple polynomial, which is not an answer choice, so we would say none of these. We are breezing through, we're halfway through. Find the degree of the polynomial. Okay, same question. First, it wants you to classify it, name the given polynomial. Is it a trinomial, binomial, monomial, or none of these? Yes, it's binomial. You can do it by circling your terms with their signs. If you make 2 circles, 2 bi means 2, so it's binomial. Oh. Now it wants the degree. What's the degree of this term? 3, right? What's the degree of this term? Nope. 0. It's a constant. So the higher one is 3, So the degree is 3. Are you guys loving how easy this homework is?
Yeah.
Don't you wish this was lesson 1 in the beginning of the year?
You know, you know.
I feel like this would have been a really good lesson 1, topic 1. Simplify by combining those like terms. Do you want me to write this bigger or can you see it okay? I'll write it bigger. Six y plus 10y minus 6y squared minus 2y squared. When we are combining like terms, what is step 1? This is Mrs. Legg's step 1. The book doesn't tell you to do this. What is step 1? Nope, we cannot combine until we circle them. Very good. Circle each term with its sign. The sign is always to the left. If there is no sign, it's positive. If the first term does not have a sign, it's positive. If the first term has a negative sign, it's negative. So you can add a positive sign to it if you like. Now, once we've circled each term with its sign, technically, now that we have separated them into signed terms, combining simply means adding all of them together. But you can only put together the like terms. Does 6y have a like term? Yes. Now, we could start with these. Actually, let's go ahead and start with these, and then I'll show you a different order to do it after we're done, and then you'll see why. Let's start with, this one's first, so let's start with our y term. What can it be combined with?
10.
Good, so what is it?
16y.
16y. And then I like to cross these out so I know that I'm done. And then I have my y squared terms. So what would that be?
8y.
Nope.
Negative 8y.
Negative 8y squared. Am I done?
It's not split.
Y squared.
You can combine those.
No, when we're adding or subtracting like terms, the variable and exponents stay exactly the same. It's kind of like -6 apples and -2 apples. You think of them as just labels. So, am I done here? Can I put this as my answer? Nope. There's nothing wrong with the value. Yes, very good. We have to order our terms from greatest exponent term to least exponent term. And so we're basically just going to switch these around. So I'm going to change this to -8y squared. And if you want, you can circle your terms again to know what signs go where. -8y plus 16y is how we're going to write it. Now, there's a way to skip this step if you want. From the beginning, right after you circle your terms with their signs, if you want to do it in just one step, you can simply scan through your terms and find the greatest exponents and combine those first. Then find the next greatest exponent. So if you have like y to the 4th and y to the 3rd and y to the 2nd and then just y, start with your y to the 4ths. Then do your y to the 3rds, then do your y to the 2nds, and then do your y's, and then your constants. So if you don't do it like that, then you'll simply need to just rearrange and make sure everything is in order from greatest to least exponent. Does that make sense? All right, now we are adding these polynomials, also called binomials. I'm going to write that a little bit bigger. 4x minus 12 plus -x minus 4. Now, let me tell you something about these parentheses here. Do you want to tell me or do you want me to tell you? Tell me something about these parentheses here. Well, they're not too annoying because they actually don't really mean anything. They're not really doing anything special because this is addition. It's kind of like saying, let's just say it's like 4 plus -1. So my parentheses are just kind of like protecting the signs, I guess. But really, all you're doing is adding a 4 and a -1. Or if it was like 4 minus 12 plus -1 minus 4. I just took the coefficients and not the variables. Now you might go, oh, do what's inside the parentheses first. Yeah, we would if it was all constants. But since it's variables and constants, we can't simplify anything inside the parentheses first. We would have to just do 4 minus 12 plus a -1 plus a -4. Are you guys with me?
Yeah.
Now let's translate that to what we have here. What I'm just trying to say is it's actually really simple. When you have addition in between your polynomials, you simply rewrite it 4x minus 12 plus your -1x plus your -4. You technically don't have to write plus this negative and plus this negative. You could write it like this. 4x minus 12, again, minus x minus 4. Totally fine to just do minus x minus 4 and kind of get rid of that addition sign. If that confuses you, then write plus a negative and plus a negative. Either way will work.
That's it?
We're not done. We haven't combined anything. It says to add them. Circle each term with its sign. Start with your highest degree term, which is the x terms, and we have 4x plus -x, which is 4x plus a -x, or a -1x, which is 3x. Done and done. Then we have a -12 plus a -4. What is that? Thank you. -16. Check over your work to make sure it's in the correct format, which is degrees from greatest to least. And you're done. Do you guys need a minute to do yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Where is it? It's in the top. Can you check it?
Yeah. It's because you wrote -4, probably because I have a -4 there, it's -1. Yours is -1. Just to change that to a -1, and then
And then
it'll just change your constant at the end.
so this would be 10.
No, what's -11 plus -1?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, -20. Okay, now this question asks you to subtract these polynomials using the vertical format. I actually don't like the vertical format. There's nothing wrong with it. If you love the vertical format, you do that. But I'm not going to do it vertically. I'm going to do it horizontally and then just circle my terms with their signs and add them. Add them? Doesn't it say to subtract them? Yup. This subtraction distributes to all of the terms and it switches the sign. So this positive 12x squared becomes a negative 12x squared. This positive 2x becomes a negative 2x. And this negative 7 becomes a positive 7. And I write them horizontally, okay? So I'm gonna write my first term, my first polynomial, 6x squared minus 2x plus 9. Then I'm distributing my negative so that I have a negative 12x squared, negative 12x squared, negative 2x, and a positive 7, positive 7. Every sign gets changed. Now I'm going to circle my terms with their signs and add them up. Yes, now we can add. Once we have separated each term with its sign, we can add it because the subtraction signs simply become negative values, and then we just add the negative value. So, which terms should we start with? Yep, the highest exponents that we see. So we see x squared, right? So let's start with those. 6x squared plus negative 12x squared is, what? Negative 6x squared, good. I'm gonna cross these out, done. Then I'm gonna go to my x terms, that's my next highest degree. So I have a negative 2x plus a negative 2x, which is negative 4x. Ricky has been really, really good participating. Are you guys not understanding this, or do you not know how, like why?
Here's where we are. I know how to do it.
We are on number 9.
Yeah, I know that. And it's just, I don't know what you're doing.
Okay. So it's a subtraction problem, but we're subtracting this entire.
I know, but where did you get 4x, and why do you still have the negative 8?
Let me back up.
I don't know anymore.
Okay, so forget about all that. I'm backing way up. Here's the original problem. It says to take this polynomial and subtract this polynomial. It tells us to do it vertically. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think it's very easy. So I say, instead of subtracting it vertically and saying minus a negative 7, that's confusing. Okay, minus a negative 7. I had to kill the cockroach and change the sign, kill the cockroach, change the sign, and kill the cockroach and change the sign, and then do it vertically. You can do that. Let's actually do it. Okay, let's do it. Let's kill this cockroach and change all the signs. Positive 7, negative 2x, negative 12x squared. Let's go ahead and do it. Now let's add vertically. So what is this?
This way.
What?
Can we use our calculator?
Of course.
Wait, if we put the whole thing in the C calculator.
Nope. It will not accept the variables. But you don't need to, because.
I know. I was just.
And if you want to use like your handheld calculator just to do like the negative 12 and the 6, I'm fine with that. You should be able to do it mentally, but what is it? Same thing over here. Negative 6x squared.
But you,
What?
You already have the 6x squared. Why are you making it negative?
Because it's being combined with a negative 12x squared. I wrote it out. This is one of the methods, and this is a different method. Here, we lined it up vertically, so all of our terms are matched with their like term. That's the way they set it up for you. So then I just killed the cockroach and changed the sign of each term inside. The other way to think about it is if you want to write all of the terms in a row like we've been doing, you just have to take that negative and distribute it to each one of these terms. So I changed my positive 12x squared to a negative 12x squared. I changed my positive 2x to a negative 2x, and I changed my negative 7 to a positive 7. It's the exact same thing as what we did here. It's just a different way of doing it. You can decide which one you like worse and not do that one. Do the other one. I said it that way because I said you decide which one you like better. You would say I don't like any of them. I was like foreseeing the reply. Death stare. Blank stare or death stare? A little bit of both? Okay. So, again, if I'm doing it vertically, then I have negative 2x plus negative 2x is negative 4x. 9 plus 7 is positive 16, and that is my answer. If I'm doing it horizontally, I take my highest term and add them up. I get negative 6x squared, just like over here. Then I do my negative 2x and my negative 2x, and I get negative 4x. Then I have my positive 9 and positive 7, and I get positive 16. Same answer, different method. Yeah, why don't we do yours on the board just to get more practice with this, okay? And we will do both methods. And you guys can decide which one you hate less and choose that one. Okay, what's yours? Give me your top polynomial. What?
5x to the second power.
Okay.
Minus 7x. Plus 4.
Plus 4, okay. Minus, and then give me the other polynomial.
7x to minus 2x. Oh, the 2x is adding, and then
Okay, plus 2x?
yeah, it's plus 2x and then negative 4.
Okay.
Except I did instead of doing
Oh, I see what you're saying. So on your computer it says positive 7x squared plus 2x
yeah.
minus 4. Okay, there are two methods. The first method, which is what they're asking you to do, is to subtract it vertically, which means we're going to kill the cockroach and change the sign of each term. This 7x squared would be a negative 7x squared. This 2x would become a negative 2x, and this negative 4 would become a positive 4. We killed the cockroach and changed all the signs. Simple, right? Now, all we're doing is adding. A 5x squared plus a negative 7x squared is what? Positive 5x squared plus negative 7x squared is what?
Negative 2.
Yeah, negative 2x squared. Negative 7x plus negative 2x is? Negative 9x. And positive 4 plus positive 4 is positive 8. I'm going to hold off on the second method right now because I'm sure there will be another one coming up in the questions. So we'll just use the vertical method for this one. Does everybody understand that it's this?
That's it?
That's it. As long as everything's in the correct order, going from greatest to least. And that's it. Mm-hmm. I thought this was your question. Why are
It is, but this is, I'm just writing that down the next one.
Oh, for the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can read it. Okay. All right, next question. Exact same thing. And let's go ahead, since they set it up vertically, we'll just do it vertically. I have 3x squared minus 2x plus 8. If you have a different question, you should be writing your question on paper. You have the same question, you should also be writing the question on paper. Raise your hand if you have the same one as me. Abby and Emily, are you guys paying attention?
Yeah, I'm just asking her where my pen is. She used it yesterday.
Okay, did you write down your,
Yeah.
okay, you have it ready? Abby?
I already did it.
Okay, let's just make sure it's right, okay? You got yours? You've entered it? Is it right? Good job.
I already did mine.
Okay. It wants us to subtract vertically, so let's just do it the way they say. We have a cockroach here. Yeah? Huh? Okay. Yep, the negative would go to everything, or you could either use this to distribute and change all the signs, or you can kill the cockroach and change the signs. However you want to think of it is totally fine. And so everything in there gets the sign change. Now we're simply adding them. So 3x squared plus a negative 8x squared is what? Negative 5x squared. And then what do I have here? Negative 5x and plus 16. And as long as everything is in the proper order, we're done. Are you good with yours?
I think I understand the vertical, like, better.
Oh, really?
It's like
Okay.
less writing and
Yeah,
less
the only tricky part is like sometimes it'll give you one horizontally and it won't have a match for every type of term, and then you'll have like a space, which there's nothing wrong with it. It's just gets a little weird when you have like spaces.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's easy when they already set it up for you when everything has a match and you can combine them. But if it's written horizontally, I just do it horizontally.
This leg.
Yeah,
Did you see the halftime show? That was.
I did.
Was it good? No.
It was okay.
That was the worst halftime show.
I felt bad for Alicia Keys because her voice cracked on her
watched the whole-
first
I watched the whole
line.
game. I know, but it's.
All right, we only have 2 more, guys.
Wait, hold on, don't go there. Well,
Okay,
Wait,
so
Miss Lane, did you watch the whole game?
I don't care about football.
What? I do.
I just don't.
I mean,
I read a
no
book
one cares.
on the couch while my husband was watching.
Wow.
Anyway, so it says to find the perimeter of this rectangle. How do you find the perimeter of any rectangle?
I have the sides.
Add up all the sides, right? Now technically, like, we do have a formula that's like 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. But since we haven't learned about multiplying polynomials yet, we're gonna hold on. We're gonna learn about that tomorrow. But let's just add up all the sides. if this side is x plus 9y, then this side is also x plus 9y. And if this side is 5x squared minus x plus 2y, then that side is also. So we just have to add them all up. Now, you can do it either by circling your terms with their signs and combining all of your like terms, or you can set it up vertically. I'm gonna go ahead and circle terms with their signs. So I think setting it up vertically would be, I don't know, intense. So I'm gonna circle terms with their signs, all of them.
Why are you coming ahead? I'm not.
I'm also gonna fill in my invisible ones. Even the negative x is a negative 1x. Then I'm going to start with my highest exponent. What's my highest exponent?
2.
Yeah, it's 2. So I would start with my x squared terms. Combine it with every other x squared term, which is simply these. So I have what? 10x squared. Then I'm going to cross these out because I'm done. Now I have x terms, and I have 4 of them. What do you notice about the 1x plus the negative 1x? Cancels. And then, so that's gone. And then negative 1x plus a positive 1x cancels. So what happened to my x terms? They're gone. Gone, 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 gone. Now I just have my y terms, which I have a positive 2 plus a positive 9 plus a positive 2 plus a positive 9.
How did you get 10x to the second?
5x squared plus 5x squared. All I'm doing is circling all of the terms and adding them up. So what do I get for this? I have 9 plus 9 is 18. Add 4, and I get 22y plus 22y.
You added up the 9s with the 2s?
Yes, because they're all y terms. They're the same term. So
Is it going to be 2y minus? I mean, sorry. I'm using my numbers, sorry.
oh, okay.
It's going to be, are they going to be subtracting?
Nothing subtracting because the perimeter is adding everything.
Oh.
As long as you circle with your sign, you do follow the rules of the signs. So if you have like a 5 plus a negative 3, you would follow that rule and you would get positive 2.
Okay.
So it's not subtracting, it's just following the rules of adding integers. We just have one more question to do. But let me know if you have any trouble with your perimeter and I can help you. Oh, this is a good one. Hello, EOC question. It says, are you ready for this?
Yeah. No, I'm confused. It's
On the perimeter one? Okay. Give me your, I'm not doing this one yet, guys. Give me your length.
My length is
Yeah.
x plus 7y.
X plus 7y.
Yeah.
Okay. And we need 2 of those, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have another one, plus x plus 7y. Okay, and then your next one?
4x to the second squared.
Plus 4x squared
Minus x plus y.
minus x plus y. And then we need another one of those, right? So plus 4x squared minus x plus y. Do you see how I wrote both of them twice? Because we have to add everything up. And you can do it vertically too. It's just a little weird because they don't all, there are going to be some holes in that vertical. So we're going to add all of these up. I have to circle each term with its sign, and then I will put in some, I will make my invisible ones show up. Okay, I'm gonna start with my highest exponents. I've got 4x squared plus 4x squared, that's 8x squared. Did you get that? Did you get that for yours? Emily? Did you get 8x squared as your first term when you did it before? No? What'd you get as your first term?
2.
Oh, you might have just not written it in order
Yeah,
from greatest to
yeah.
least. So you might have the same, you might have the correct numbers, but okay, so we're done with the x squared terms. Then we have x's and y's. So since they're, oh well, the x's are gonna cancel out again. We have 1x plus 1x, that's 2x. And then a negative 1x and a negative 1x, that's negative 2x. When you put those together, it's 0. So they cancel each other out. Now, we have just our y terms left, right? We have 7y plus 7y plus 1y plus 1y. That's 16y plus 16y. So it wasn't, for you, it was not a matter of just not having them in the right order. Something went wrong when you were combining.
Yeah.
Okay, are you good now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this last one. It's gonna require a few steps. It says write a polynomial that describes the surface area of the figure. Recall that the surface area of a solid is the sum of the areas of its faces. How many surfaces are there, or how many faces does it have? How many faces does this rectangular prism have? And why does it not look like doesn't it not look like a rectangular prism? Doesn't it look a little bit weird? Doesn't it look like this is higher than this?
Yeah, it's landed.
Yeah, there's something wrong there. Anyway, we'll just go by the numbers. So there are 6 faces. We are going to be adding up 6 areas, okay? So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go ahead and set this up vertically. Do you guys have the same numbers as me, hopefully?
I don't have any numbers. I have 1.
Oh, really? That's fine. Okay, let's do mine first. Take notes on it, and then you should be able to do this one on your own, okay? So I'm gonna do it vertically. I'm gonna line all of them up. Now the first thing is I'm gonna get my areas. So I have 3x times 3x. 3x times 3x. What is that? What is that? 9x squared. 3 times 3 is 9. X times x is x squared. So that's my area for this, and it's my area for the other face, the opposite face as well. Now, here I have a length of 4y and a height of 3x, so that would be 4y times 3x, which is 4 times 3 is 12. Y times x is yx, or we're going to put it in alphabetical order, xy. So this face is, all these 4 faces are 12xy. So I am adding 9x squared plus 9x squared plus 12xy plus 12xy plus 12xy plus 12xy. Because I have 4 faces that are 12xy. Does that make sense? You guys don't want to hear the end of this? You look like you want to go to lunch. Do you want to know how to do it or no? Did you get it right? You can go. Do you want to know? That's wonderful. I'm such an amazing teacher for this one lesson that you understand. Okay, now, the only terms, this is why I don't really like the vertical method, because when I line them up, they're not all the same term. The only ones I can add together of the x squared are those, and that would be 18x squared. Then I have 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, which is 12 times 4, which is 48. So I have positive 48xy. And then I just write that. 18x squared plus 48xy. Okay, squared plus 48xy. For me, it's A. Do you want me to work on yours with you real quick?
No, I got it.
You got it? Okay. You need help, Emily? Emily A, do you need help?
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to say because I figured I would be weird if I left.
No,